Hey, what's up, everyone? So, I know I haven't been real world live, so to speak, for quite a while. And I'm sure everybody's going, oh my God, Jeff is losing his shit. He's all over the place. What the hell is going on? I'm very self aware, so everybody knows. I see me through your eyes. But with that being said, I guess the shortest update is if you count when I first took my first acting class with hopes of that world, that's easily 20 years ago. And if you count Small Potato Films, when we started an indie film company after the success of 28 Days Later, that all is easily 20 years ago. If you count theater and all of that, a little break to play Green Beret and firefighter, then back to Los Angeles for 12 years, I think 10 maybe. It's been, let's just say 20 years for the sake of math. I gambled my mental, physical, spiritual health on a giant what if. As everybody knows, I do everything to an 11. I don't believe in life as a marathon, not a sprint. To me, that's bullshit. I always go back to, and I hate to be that vet, but I always go back to the Green Beret chase. You don't really pace yourself on that. You do what is required of you at the pace that is asked of you, and most of the time that's a sprint. You muscle through it with injuries, whether it's a deployment or trying to get the Green Beret. You do it with torn ligaments, broken backs. I know I use the song all the time in a lot of my stories, but whatever it takes. And it paid off. Those things pay off. In the spirit of Hollywood, didn't pay off. Hasn't paid off, I should say. There's always a glimmer of hope. And so to that end, 2 years ago, I remember talking to a good friend of mine. She actually played my wife in Noon. We were texting, completely innocuous and unconnected to anything. And somehow it was asked the short version of, when are you going to quit? Or if you're going to quit, when are you? How long are you going to keep this up? And my answer, this was 2 years ago, so this wasn't like last week and sporadic and just a bad night. It was, I'm going to change my plans when Izzy dies. And as you all know, I had to end it for her. And I couldn't have asked for a better scenario. The short version, as you may or may not know, I knew her time was coming, and she was not going to die in Los Angeles. There was no way I was going to let her die in that hellhole. And to the credit of a person of my past, she pushed me over the edge to move to Atlanta, Hollywood 2.0. People have been pushing me to move here for years. And I was like, you know what? F it. Why not? And that's a decision I do not regret, especially because it allowed Izzy to have a backyard to chase rabbits and see deer and chase butterflies and just be happy as a pig in shit. And I vowed she would die as best as possible to my means in a house in the woods. And I pretty much gave her that. I have no regret on it. I wish I could have done even better, but I'm pretty damn proud of what I pulled off. I did the math, and I really truly think from the decision of, okay, I'm going to move to Atlanta, to hanging the last picture on the wall when I moved in and unpacked, it was less than 40 days. And as you all know, I had Halloween here, I had Christmas here. It's been a lot of hell on earth, tons of injuries that are still unrepaired, and sick and unhealthy and tired and broke and all of these things. But I was able to give Izzy that. So it was time to revisit that, to honor that promise I made myself of time to reevaluate. And I'm sure a lot of people are going, oh, Jeff met a girl. So he's changing his life for her. Nope, completely unconnected. I will not lie that she is a massive bonus to this trajectory change, or a bonus prize, if you will, but not a because of. It's a in lieu of. And to honor that promise I made to myself, to my friend 2 or 3 years ago in San Francisco, it was time to reevaluate. And pushing 45, and I'm not being hard on myself, but I gambled for the whatever mark you want to use, the 20-year mark, the 15-year mark, the 12-year mark, relentlessly at all costs at the expense of my health, my well-being, my physical health, my spiritual health, my mental health, injuries, sickness, financial stability, friends, family. I risked every bullet point you can think of and lost a lot of things on a lot of bullet points. And for once in my life, that gamble didn't pay off, hasn't paid off. The door isn't closed, but the live, eat, breathe 99, the live, eat, breathe 150% existence for that thing I have no control over, despite how much I may work or study or educate or have talent in, that is over. I still obviously like to be great at things I do. I don't like to half-ass anything. But I now need to remedy. I know people are going to be hard, like say I'm being too hard, but it's time to remedy the last wasted 15 years and play massive catch up. So I need to now take things I can control: employment, income, living situation, success, and actually do something about it and have control over it. It's not going to be pretty, but I have a say in it. The real world, the non-Hollywood world, the world where you put work in and get results. I've spent the last week connecting, and thank you to everyone, every connection, whether it's special forces related or otherwise. I have a very detailed list of people I'm connecting with and applying to. And basically the short version is time to play catch up, time to use that same, excuse my language, fuck it and fix it work ethic to a world I can actually control and have a say in, where I actually can control my fate. So I've applied and I'm working for several military contractors. I've already applied and I've established communications with some oil rig jobs, and it's time to fix the mistakes of 15 years of gambles. Time to make money, create a life, chase things that I have control over, i.e. I always wanted a farm with a horse, whether I made it in Hollywood or not. And time to make that happen. It didn't come with the giant overnight wealth of becoming the Punisher for Marvel yet. And so I will make it happen. So I will work. It's time to suck. I have to suck it up and work some jobs I won't like, jobs that are a little harder for a 44, 45-year-old with tons of injuries. But shit happens, and it's time to control my fate and work those jobs, get the savings. The VA's screwing me on home loans, but start remedying my past and getting that life, creating that life. And in the world we live in, you don't have to live in LA, you don't have to live in Atlanta. And even if you do, it hasn't benefited me for the last 4 years. I'm not being hard on myself, but I haven't worked for a while. That's just, it is what it is. Whether I'm a shitty actor or whether the circumstances haven't aligned, but I know I've done my share. I know my agents and manager have done their share. It's just, it is what it is. I hate that phrase, but it is what it is. But not once has something come up where I'm like, oh shit, I wish I lived in LA, or oh shit, I needed to live in Atlanta. Every job I've had, or every stunt job I've had on the side would have worked if I lived somewhere else. So it's time to not move on, but move on. I'm still going to audition. I'm still going to take jobs if they exist, or if I can afford to travel. If the balance between like losing money and the money I'll make, great. I have too many injuries to chase the stunt world, depending on the stunt job. I have like 3 surgeries I need to have. I just can't afford to not work. So it's time to adjust fire. She has an amazing, like, retirement giving job. I have, not being hard on myself, but I have nothing. I have no committed geographical commitment. I don't need to live here. I moved to here to chase an attempt. Izzy didn't make it, and that was the promise I made. So, time to go to what I always wanted, even if I made it in Hollywood. Land and a horse, chickens, maybe a goat, maybe a pig. That's it. And it's time to control that, remedy that, fix that, create that. The VA home loan situation is giving me some hiccups, but I still have, so yet another entity is saying what I can and can't do. But what I can do is work these military contract jobs. I can work these oil rig jobs I've applied to, and I should start shifts pretty soon. And I can play catch up. And shit happens. It's not going to be painless. It's not going to be convenient. But that was part of the gamble of, all right, I'm going to try this. This easy acting is not hard. It's not physically, like I did my share of damaging my body, but acting is not getting shot at. And any actor that says otherwise is full of shit. So, it's time to pay some dues and take care of myself, take care of my loved ones, be able to visit my loved ones. I know this is an extremely long video, but there are 2 or 3 people that may actually want to hear this. So thus the detailed explanation. Nothing's going to change with my agents or my manager. I still have agents in Atlanta. I still have agents in Los Angeles. My manager is a goddess. She's amazing. I will still do audiobooks. This audiobook series, I pray to God, just for sheer enjoyment, I pray it keeps going. I can't wait for it to release. It was so fun to do. I cannot wait to do more. It's an amazing job. It pays great, and I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy who I'm doing it for. It's a guy who's he's been an amazing connection and an amazing brother. But it's time to work my ass off on contracts or rotations to Texas for these oil jobs, pay some bills, create some savings, and start, I keep calling it life 3 out of 3. I've had 3 big phases, and this is the 3 of 3. This is the last one. And if auditions happen, I'll self-tape and I'll audition. And if I can, because I'm working my ass off, because the entire time I was in Los Angeles, I only once or twice had random little side jobs for a week or 2. I never had a job. I used that old that analogy of burning the bridges or burning the boats. I did not allow myself to have a personal trainer job, a bartender job, whatever job, and I'm not, no disrespect to those who did that. I chose not to because that was how I forced myself to act for income. But you know what? I want to say it didn't pay off. So I'm now working, and when jobs come up, just like any other actor in Los Angeles or wherever that works full-time at a job to pay the bills, I'm now doing that with oil rig or military contracting because I got to play massive catch-up. And I'm willing to do that and to go through the physical tolls with the injuries to do it, and because it really matters to me. And I actually have a say in it. I have some say in my success and my paycheck and my outcome and my career fate. So that's what I'll do. And, if an audition comes up, because I'm working well-paying jobs, hopefully, I can fly to Los Angeles to work it. I can fly to Atlanta. I can fly, the last stunt job I had was in Miami. They flew me because I have a unique stunt casting. I'm 6.5 feet tall, so they are willing to fly you because I'm the only one. And those are great. That means I can live anywhere. Military contracting jobs and oil rig jobs, you can live wherever you want. So that's the update. Not quitting per se, but not focusing. I still watch movies, and the child Jeff in me still tears up when I first see in Batman versus Superman, when I first see Batman and Superman on screen together, face to face, honoring the Frank Miller comic panel. That still gets me. I still want to create that stuff. And that will never die. That is just there. But the ratio is off. The glimmers of hope are far disproportionate to the sheer amount of pain and suffering and uncontrollable fate one has in this industry. And yeah, I whine, I bitch and moan, and it is what it is. I hate saying that. I can accept it, but I can also still hate it. And I hate the phrase, but it is what it is. So I'll enjoy it as a consumer. I'll watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'll watch Robin Williams' What Dreams May Come. I'll watch Hugh Jackman in The Fountain. I'll watch movies that still just crush and invigorate my soul. But the existing only to be happy to create the similar things, it didn't pay off. And it's no longer sustainable. For anybody that gets around this age, I'm not super old, but people are dying around me. My mom died. Peers have been dying for years in the military. Non-military peers are dying, and it's time to go. We're all just kind of meat sacks on this planet. I'm not out to like hurt or cause malice or be malicious to anybody out there, but at the end of the day, it's just us laying there and dying and being buried. I don't care who it is. When people die, they're forgotten pretty soon. It's not why we should do anything, but their career is forgotten. Their loved ones are the ones that remember them. And I've really, excuse my language, fucked over a lot of my loved ones. Gambling that I'll be like, all right, just give me some time and I'll be back with you. And it backfired. I didn't say it backfired, but it didn't pay off. I took a gamble and I didn't, my birth mom died. And I was so broke, so starving actor, I couldn't see her before, during, or after. And, that's some shit you learn the hard way. So that's where it's at. To want something to your core, like a childhood dream in the truest definition of it, yet to have 99.999% no say in that dream, it's exhausting. And you hope it pays off, and if it doesn't, you need to triage it and say, all right, this patient is dead. Or this patient can no longer do X, time to move on to the next patient, try to save them. So for now, I'm saying, yeah, it's time to move on to the next patient and do what I can with that. But like I said, do not get me wrong. If my agents or manager go, Jeff, they want a new face for the Punisher for Marvel, I will run from Nebraska to Atlanta or Los Angeles to audition for that. And I will still study the craft. I will still religiously, I take notes when I watch movies. I try to watch a movie every couple days and I actually take notes. That won't stop. But the pursuit what I pursue will be slightly different. Active versus passive pursuits. I'm going to actively pursue peace, walking out to a barn, fixing fence, changing, feeding a horse. That is what I'm pursuing. But I will also, if it comes to me, not like in a pompous, I'm not that cool, nobody knows who I am, but if a role exists that comes to me, that my crew sends me, I will take it. I will do my best, and I'll honor them and crush it and do my best for them. Unquestionably. But living, eating, breathing, waking for free, and actually at a cost for something I get nothing out of and haven't got anything out of tangibly for years and years. Those days have got to change. So 20 minutes. If you stuck with that whole thing, you are bored. I'm going to wrap it up only because I feel like a narcissistic a-hole talking this long. So that's the loose summary. Obviously, my give a F is a little in the toilet because I don't. I mean, I know I'm a nice guy. My mom still likes me. B still loves me. And my mom loves me still. When I say my mom, long story short, my dad remarried. Another woman raised me, whom I call mom. Birth mom is the one who died I referenced earlier. Long story. Doesn't devalue anything. But yeah, my give a F is in the toilet. Because I'm tired of walking on glass. We all know Hollywood's a shit show. There's good and bad people in it, but it is still inherently, it's off. We all know that. The degree of its offedness varies and has, various pieces of proof. So I'm kind of like, I don't care. I know I've been told by people I trust I'm a good actor. I've been told by people I trust I'm a hard worker. And I've been told by people I trust I'm a good guy. We can have different beliefs, that's fine. But I do know those three things. I'm a good guy, I'm a good actor, and I'm a hard worker. So as long as I keep doing those, I don't care about the rest. I don't care if I post a video or a picture of me holding a gun and how some casting director in Los Angeles might be offended by that. I don't care. They may post something that offends me, but I don't get to say what happens in their career like they do mine. So screw them. If they judge me on that, I don't want to work with them anyway. But if they don't, and they say, hey, we're different people, but we work together well. I know I've worked with some people that have completely different beliefs than me. And we work together great. They're some of my greatest film-making friends. But I know we have different beliefs. So what? That's how it should be. But the days of caring, if you all know what I mean, they're done. I don't care. I don't care, but I care, if you know what I mean. I'll still be polite, professional, but I'm also going to be more me and less vanilla, if you haven't picked up on that already. So you've suffered 23 minutes. Thank you for your time. Reply, comment. Obviously, I still give a shit about everyone because I wouldn't have whatever I have if it weren't without you. And that's one of the things I will still stand by is the studios and the suits and all the assholes that, fuck up movies for fans are doing it for the numbers, not the fans. And at the end of the day, I still know the consumer, the fan is what matters. And I wouldn't have whatever I have if it weren't for supporters, watchers, fans, viewers. So I still give it, that matters to me more than some suit at the top of, if Feige doesn't like me because he's like military or veteran or pro-gun, I don't care. I'm not saying he does. Mr. Feige, if you want to audition me for The Punisher, I'm your man. But my metaphor still stands. If somebody doesn't like me for who I am, but I still am a good, professional, talented, hardworking, decently talented actor, I'm not going to lose sleep on that anymore. So, because I care about the consumer. And as a nerd, especially us DC fans, we know suits making decisions based on numbers and not fan wants is what ruins art. So, long video. I can't imagine anybody actually suffered through this, but thank you if you did. And that's that. Everyone have a great day, night, morning, evening, whatever. This was long enough. It probably transitioned to 2 different time zones for y'all. So take care. I love you all. And here we go. Life phase 3 of 3.